I am now live. Just turning up the volume. I don't want to be too loud, but I want you to be able to hear me. So if you can hear me, I would really appreciate it if you could let me know somehow. I'm filming this through my phone, but I've also got my iPad to hand, so I can keep an eye on the chat as well. So let me know who you are and where you are, and join in with this evening's live. I've got my cup of tea, which just taking a slurp, still a bit hot. Hello Cynthia, nice to see you again. Thank you for letting me know that you can hear me loud and clear. I've got a fly buzzing around this studio. It's about 4.5 degrees outside and it's freezing cold. And this fly is in the studio and it's driving me absolutely crazy. I can hear it, I just can't see it. So hopefully you can just hear me and not the fly. Right, okay, so this evening I have got my sketchbooks out, and this is just a nice, chilled out, relaxed sketchbook session. I did a poll the other day over on the community page, and I can't remember the options I gave you. I think I had, the first one was a landscape in my sketchbook. The other one, I think there was a stag, which would have been ideal for Christmas cards. There was a raven, and the other option was you were just happy to turn up and let me talk away and let me create and have some fun and just be here. So the sketchbook landscape one. So I've got my sketchbook here ready to go. This is a new Pith Oroblanco. This is the one where I did my autumn tree in it the other day. I put a piece of kitchen towel over the top because it was rubbing off onto the other page. So that was the autumn tree, and I found a sticker that goes nicely on there. So Cynthia, it's sunny in California. Oh, lucky you. Remember last week when I said it doesn't snow in the southwest? It's been snowing up north, but it's rare that we get snow in the southwest. Well, the following morning, I ate my words because I woke up to snow and it laid. It wasn't around for long, but it was magical and I loved it. But it was a very odd experience in November to have snow in the southwest of England. Hello Adrian from LA, nice to see you, thanks for dropping in. What's the weather like in LA? We're obsessed with the weather in England, so it's nice to hear what's happening in other parts of the world. I'm sorry, I've got a cup of tea here, so I'm sort of drinking that as I go along. It takes me a while to get into these lives. I like it to be relaxed. No rushing. I don't do rushing. So I'll show you what we're going to do later in the Pith. As you can see, I've decorated it with lots of stickers. Gotta love a sticker. Do any of you decorate your sketchbooks? This is quite sort of matte and cardboardy, so I could have maybe done a little picture on the front, but I wanted to do stickers. So let me tell you what I've been up to this week before I get into the sketchbook. I think you might enjoy this. Cynthia, I think you might like this one. So in my little sketchbook, this is a little Sea Whites journal. This is only 14 centimetres by 14 centimetres, but there's a lovely artist who's got her own YouTube channel called Wendy Powell Jones, and she has got some lovely little Christmas card ideas and tutorials on her YouTube channel. So this week, that's what I did. There's a little rose hip one with frost or snow on that she did, which is ideal for Christmas cards. I will leave her link in the description when I've finished the live. And if you want to do some little Christmas cards, Wendy Powell Jones, I think that's her name. Yes, I'm sure that's correct. I will make sure I get it right for you when I put it in the description. But she does little robins and little botanical ones. Hello, Sarah. Nice to see you. You just realised you were watching the wrong stream. Well, you're here now. Thank you for turning up. I hope you've got a cup of tea. I've got one here. This is going to be a nice, relaxed session. I don't do any rushing. I just chat along. I'm just telling you what I've been up to this week. I've been making Christmas cards, and I've got a little production line going. Let me just see if I can whiz you around. Right, Sarah, you go and do what you need to do. I will still be here when you get back. Right, I don't know if you can see. There's a little production line at the end here. I'm pointing in that direction. I've got a little production line of Christmas cards on the go. So just turning you around. Let me show you a finished one. This is a finished one. I'm probably going to press that, make it nice and flat before I write in it and give it out. Let me show you one that's still drying. So I did 3 more this afternoon. This is a wet background, so you drop water on and then you drop your paint in, and you have to do it quite dark because it does dry quite light. And then you sprinkle salt on. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's got salt on there ready to, I will scrape off in the morning. But this blue stuff is, what's it called? It's called gum. Hang on, masking fluid. That's the word I'm looking for. And Wendy actually recommends something called PBO or Pebio drawing gum. And it is blue. So if you're putting it onto white watercolour paper, obviously you can see it. And the way you get that off, I'm just stretching around the camera. I've got one of these, I don't know what it's called. It's like a rubbery thing. And what you do, this isn't quite dry, but you just rub over the edge and it sort of peels off like that. And it's really quite satisfying. So that's what I've been up to this week. I had a bit of a disaster with the penguins. I finished my penguins and they look absolutely amazing, and they still do. But I went through the printers to get them printed off, and they sent me penguin leaflets, not penguin Christmas cards. So I'm not quite sure what happened there. So I'm doing some hand-painted ones. Right, so that was that little sketchbook. And then at the weekend, in the snow, we drove down to Cornwall. And Devon was absolutely beautiful as we drove through, with all the snow on the mountainsides and the hillsides and farmland. When we got to Cornwall, I don't know if they had as much as we had here, but it had all melted, so there wasn't any snow down there, just on the very top of the mountains. But I found an old sketchbook in the drawer down there. And this sketchbook, if you've watched my previous videos, I think Cynthia, you probably have, I started this sketchbook in 2023. And the first page, my first attempt, it's not great. But I sat on the beach and I did that. And there's artistic license. There isn't really a house that looks like that. Or there is a house that looks like that, but there's lots of other houses. But I just enjoyed sitting on the beach with my art materials, and I was very proud of myself. That was a De La Rowney Aquafine travel set that I was testing out. And then this one is of Boscastle. That's May 2024. So you can see I had a long gap from the first page to this one. Hi Sarah, welcome back. Oh dear, the spaniel was trying to help herself to roast chicken leftovers. I'm not surprised. That's one of Audrey's favourite meals, is roast chicken. And then this one I did with gouache. That was Anthony Torpoint. That was June 2024. Again, these are all videos that I've filmed that you can find on my channel. And then I found this one. And this one is a place called Coarse Sand Beach. And it was just, I got this out of the drawer and it was just a sketch. And I thought, okay, I can't remember doing this and I think I should finish it. So at the weekend, I did my swatches on the side. I've got a friend that absolutely loves my swatches. So I did my swatches on the side and I finished that sketch. But I had to go all the way back through my photographs on the iPad to try and find this so I could get the colours sort of right. And luckily Graham, my husband, had taken a photograph, sat outside the pub, but it did have a big pint of Thatcher's cider in the way, so I had to work around that. So that's what I've been up to this week. So I'm just going to take my cardi off. It's quite hot up in the attic. Banished to the attic. Okay, so the pole 1, a landscape. So I like to have a reference photo, and this is one of mine that I took. This is a walk that we do on the southwest coast path, and it looks quite autumnal. You've got all the bracken here, you've got some sea, you've got some hillside, and the sort of pathway that draws your eye line to the back of the photograph. The sky's quite grey, and again, this isn't as vibrant as the actual photograph on the iPad, but it's good reference for me. So that's what I'm going to use to do the landscape in my sketchbook. Now, in a sketchbook, the reason why you have a sketchbook is because it's a place where you can just be free to experiment and to play. Most artists don't tend to show you what's in their sketchbook because it's the place where you are free to make mistakes, use different materials that maybe don't work together, or make marks that don't quite look right. Things won't be to scale. And so this is just me. It's not a tutorial. It's just showing you how I create in my sketchbook. So I'm just going to pin that to the top as reference. Audrey has only got little legs, you're right, Sarah, so she can't get to the kitchen worktops, that's for sure. But she's got big eyes. big eyes that look at you and make you feel guilty. And yeah, she's fast asleep at the moment on the cushion in front of my desk. Sorry, I'm just having a slurp of my tea. Yes, Cynthia, you're right. It's having that playful approach. And I've literally grabbed all my art materials. So this evening I've got my Neocolor 2s. I've got my Tim Holtz Distress crayons. I've got some Posca pens. I've not used these before, apart from the white one to do highlights, but I've not used these to create art. So I might have to have a quick scribble and see what they do. I've got these earth tone pro markers. They're quite nice. They're not watercolour, they are permanent. They're alcohol-based translucent ink, but they're quite nice to make marks on the page. So I've just got all my art materials and I'm just gonna create. These are Derwent drawing pencils. Got a variety of those. I've got some Caran d'Ache Luminance pencils. They're quite nice as well. None of these are water soluble, but I have got my Inktense ones here, which are. So I've literally got everything to hand, ready to go. What I'm going to do first, just to loosen up, is open up these Posca pens and see what they do. These are water-based, permanent. You can use them on wood, textiles, cardboard, metal and ceramics, and they're opaque and matte. And they're quite nice colours, I thought. We've got brown, light orange, beige and ivory. So we got those. And I've got some brighter colours here, which I probably won't use, to be honest with you. I've got a white one there. This is a 0.7mm tip. These are slightly bigger at 1.8 to 2.5mm. And I am going to use my dried up gouache palette. Again, I did another video about gouache paint. They have dried, they have cracked, but it doesn't matter because they're just my studio paints. And all I will do is give them a little spray and it will wake them up. Like so. I've got a clean pot of water here and I've got a variety of paintbrushes. And now, I'm not sure how you wake these up. Oh yeah, Black Friday art sales. We have those in England as well now, Cynthia. They're all over the place, but Amazon are good for Black Friday sales. My husband would be really pleased about that. I'm just going to grab a scrap of paper because, I don't know, I'm just shaking these up and down so you'll hear them in the background. Just seeing if I can get the ink to come through. I guess you just push, that nib goes in and out. I'm quite heavy-handed, so It's like eye makeup concealer. Hi Alison, thanks for joining us. I'm just trying to get this Posca pen to work. The ink is starting to come through. So Cynthia, I've just had a thought. The reason why you have Black Friday sales is because you have Thanksgiving in America. And I thought Thanksgiving was around now. Let me know what date Thanksgiving is over in America. I thought it was the end of November, because obviously Black Friday is this Friday coming. Oh, it's tomorrow. Oh, goodness. Cynthia, let me know how you celebrate Thanksgiving out there. I've only ever experienced it on TV through films, and it looks like it's like our Christmas dinner. So you have turkey, like a turkey roast, which I'm sure you don't really feel like if it's hot and sunny where you are. Right, these Posca pens take some time to actually, can you see the, I don't know, what is it, ink, acrylic. It takes its time to come down the nib. Oh, they're cool. I like these. And we've got a brown one. So give it a shake and then push the nib. It seems quite brutal on the nibs. Ah, I see. Okay. Do you have like nut roasts out there? My friend is also vegan, but we do some really good nut roasts over here now. And some nice veggies, roast parsnips. Here we go. The colour is coming down. These are nice colours. I like these colours. This one is an ivory. I do always think at Christmas time and Thanksgiving, I do think about all those poor turkeys, I must admit, Cynthia. It does play on one's conscience. Here we go. Is this going to work? Right. Can you see that? I think the camera finds it hard to sort of focus. Oh yeah, that sounds good, Cynthia. Yeah, that sounds really good. I love portobello mushrooms. Right, there we go. That one there, I sort of really was quite harsh with it on the paper. It sort of rocked the paper up a little bit. So I don't know how long these nibs will last. I guess if you can use them on metal and wood, and even for pebble painting, they should be pretty hardy. Right, there we go. Oh, sorry, you're all over the portobello mushrooms. How did your baking go? I hope you've got some cakes left for art group. Okay, now then, I'm just going to look at this lovely blank page. It's always hard starting a page. Let me try and get it all in the camera here. Sorry, I've just put my finger right in it. There we go. So you can see what's going on. I'm using a size 10 flat brush, but it's not a flat brush. It's got like a curve to it. I think they're called cat's tongue brushes, but that's the biggest one I've got. And what I'm going to do is just lay down some colour with gouache initially, sort of following the colours a little bit here. So we have, in fact, I'm thinking on my feet here. I'm going to do what I normally do. And I like to put a pencil line in. So you can see the sea is here. So the sea comes across. Don't want too much sky. Sea comes across here. Take it all the way there. Then we have the land that sort of comes up here. Then we've got like another hillside. Actually, I'm going to go over here. Talking and concentrating is hard. Okay. Because you've got your path, you've got your bracken here, then you've got your green, and your path sort of is a bit squiggly. And it goes off into the distance. And then sort of comes across here. Then we've got another hill that goes up here. And I know your path sort of goes off into the distance. Like so. And then I don't know if you can see, but we've got like some sort of scrappy trees here, but I will put them in later on because all I'm trying to do is get that base colour down. I'm looking for a rubber now because that path is far from perfect. The angles aren't quite right, but it's okay because it's my depiction and it's just for fun. Right, now, so going back to my cat's tongue brush, I'm just wetting it. I've got some kitchen roll here too. And I'm just going to get some colours down. Quite sort of watery colours. This is quite a sort of spring green for the grass. And it's remembering just to be playful. I watch an artist called Helen Cryer. She's a lovely artist to watch. She has some amazing art materials, and she does art, and she calls it splodge and scribble. So she puts her sort of splodgy background down first, waits for it to dry, and then goes over the top with her mixed media. And her videos and the materials she uses has taught me so much over the last year. So Helen Cryer is another amazing mixed media artist, another good one to watch. There we go. We've got some green down. I'm going to go in with some brown, but it's just going to be a fairly light wash. So looking at the reference photo here, because remembering this is the sea. I don't quite know how I've managed it, but I've got ink on this page from the printer because my printer is being rubbish, and I went to print off the photo and all the nozzles were clogged up. Because for these lives I don't do any prep. The only prep I've done today is the reference photo, because I want it to be as natural as possible. This is how I create art in my sketchbook. Just sharing the materials I use and the sort of tricks of the trade, if you like, and hopefully inspiring you too, just to play. Now I have to be careful not to dip my paintbrush in my tea. I've done it so often, and I see other artists do it as well. I did it last week, in fact. So I'm just going to put some sea in. Am I going to go realistic or not? I think I'm going to drop some. This is like a French ultramarine. I've got a Payne's grey somewhere. Yeah. Oh no, what colour's that? Maybe that's French ultramarine. Yes, it is. I want a Payne's grey. There we go. And I'm just going to drop in some sea. I've not painted in the Pith Oroblanco before. It's quite smooth paper. Now the hill in the background, there's quite a lot of brown on there. There's a little bit of green. I've got a mixture of colours here. I'm going to go with a darker green, and I think, oh, that's grey. Just going to fill it in here. Have you got a cup of tea on the go, Sarah? I'm on decaf tea. There we go. Yes, tell me on Friday, Sarah. Okay, now that's one hill. Now I've missed some green. I bet you've already spotted it. Just up the centre here. Who knows how this is going to turn out? All I know that I'm quite happy, although the path's not exact to the standard of the photograph, it does draw your eye line out of the picture, you know, towards the back hill. So I'm just going to do the back hill now. I'm just giving it a few minutes because otherwise that will bleed into that. And those pencil lines are very dark. I don't like it, but it is what it is. That sounds very healthy, Sarah. Very healthy indeed. I'm just on normal Yorkshire tea, decaf. Okay, as I'm concentrating, I can hear the fly buzzing in the background. And I've just managed to paint on the page underneath. Thank you, Sarah. So I'm just literally getting a base colour down. That's all I'm doing here, and going over with mixed media in a minute when it dries. I'm glad you're feeling inspired. I really am. It makes me really happy to know that, because that is why I do it. I want people to feel happy and relaxed here and feel that they want to get their sketchbook out as well. And so that really does make me happy to think that you feel that you would like to have a go. Because as I say every time, this isn't a masterpiece. It's not going to be a masterpiece. It's not meant to be. It's about how it makes you feel. To experiment and to be playful, as Cynthia quite rightly said. There's no pressure. Yeah, I can do that for you, Sarah. I can do that. There we go. I'm just getting some darker tones in. And if any of you are wondering, this brush, which I think is a large cat's tongue brush. It's a cheapy one. It's called Lonely Finger, and it's a cheapy one, but they're really good for in your sketchbook. I got it from Temu, and there was a set, and they weren't very expensive at all. But they're good for playing about with different kinds of media, so you don't ruin your posh brushes that you might use for your watercolour paintings or your more serious pieces. If any of you are painting along or playing in your sketchbook, let me know. Yes, Cynthia, you're right. Yeah, they're definitely filbert brushes. Yes, I call them cat's tongue brushes, which I think they are called cat's tongue brushes. But yeah, I think you're right. They're called filbert. Yeah. And these are, like I say, they were cheap ones from Temu. And I ordered a set, and they're actually quite nice quality brushes. They're obviously synthetic, but they're really good just for playing around with mixed media. Right, I'm not happy about these pencil lines. We might have to disguise those, but I'm just going to wait for this background to dry. But has anyone noticed what I've forgotten to do? Anybody out there? So I'm just having a slurp of tea while you have a think about what I've missed. It's like being in school. Yes, it has gone cold. Okay. I've missed the sky. I've missed the sky. I'm just going to get some kitchen roll. Because I'm going to put in the grey clouds, and I'm going to sort of lift it off a bit with some kitchen roll to try and get that sort of cloud effect. Yes, Sarah, you should invest in a sketchbook, definitely. They're good places to practice. They're good places, like I said earlier, to make mistakes. You don't have to show anybody. Artists rarely share their sketchbooks. I mean, there's some brilliant artists out there who, of course, do. But this is the place where you get to experiment and use different art materials. And, you know, you can get fairly inexpensive sketchbooks without messing up your posh watercolour paper. Right, I'm just going to apply a mix of whatever this blue is down here. Hang on, let me just wipe off the green, because I don't really want green in the sky. I'm going to put in some blue. I think that must be indigo, actually. It's quite dark. A little bit of whatever that one is. I thought it was French ultramarine, but this is my gouache set. I do share my sketchbooks with you, Sarah. And not every page is perfect, that's for sure. Now I'm trying to find, I wish I had a Payne's grey, but I haven't. I don't want it to look like the sea. There's got to be a definition. Now I'm stalling a bit on the sky, and I'll tell you why. Because normally with the sky I would do wet and wet. So I would wet the paper and then I would drop the sky in with wet paint. But this is 200 GSM and I'm not sure it's going to like it. But I'm going to practice what I preach. And I'm just going to do it. Because if it doesn't work, I'll know not to do it again. And now I've put water on it, you can see the ink from the printer, which has come off of the photograph, has activated. Here we go. Going right up to the heel line, but you don't want to go over because it will bleed. And just trying to be as random as possible, dropping in some sky. Yeah, and the wet and wet really doesn't work, but it's okay. I'm just going to keep going. Keep going and don't panic. Not the best sky I've ever produced, I've got to admit. How are we looking? Does that look like a sky? Because you do know as well that when you do art, you are your own worst critics. I think that's okay. Thanks, Cynthia. Not bad for a first attempt, I guess. Now I'm just going to darken up back here. This is where I've really got to stop myself from getting bogged down in detail, because I will, and I'll start fiddling and that's not good. That's not why I'm here. This is 200 GSM, Cynthia, and it didn't cope well with the wet on wet. The page just sort of sucked it up. So, yeah. If I was using the Sea Whites journal, that would have coped better. But this has got nice smooth pages like hot press paper, and so it will hold the Posca and the Pro markers and the Neo Colour 2s, hopefully. Right, I'm just going to give that a minute because I need it to dry. In fact, I might mute you whilst I give it a dry, because you don't want that blasting in you through your speakers. So I'm just going to pop you on mute and I'm going to give it a quick dry with the heat tool. Okay, I've unmuted you again. And I'm just thinking, if I use one of these to hold this paper down, it's going to be a hindrance, I think. So yeah, that paper does buckle quite a bit, but once I've finished and I close my sketchbook and just leave it to settle, that will soon flatten. Okay, I just want to see if these pencil marks come off. I'm being a bit obsessive about the pencil marks, but because I've gone over it in sort of a yellow based paint, sometimes that sort of seals the pencil. Hey, look at that. It is lifting. There we go. So the base colours are down, base colours are dry. Sky's looking okay. Just checking it's all dry. So now this is the fun part. So getting the base colour down is good. Splodge and scribble, as Helen Cryer calls it. And I'm going to go over the top with some different mediums. I'm just going to move my gouache palette out of the way because I don't think I'm going to use it anymore. And I'm just going to start making marks on the paper. Let me just think. What would you like to see? Would you like to see Neo Colour 2s and pencils? Is there any particular medium that you want me to use? If you do, drop a little message in the chat. Otherwise, I'll just sort of beaver away as I normally would. I'm just going to get some, I want to match that fern colour. And I know that's a Venetian red, but that could be quite nice. Where's my swatch card? There we go. So I'm going to use the Venetian red with the broken tip. Ruby Earth, that's quite a nice one. So these are all nice sort of earthy tones. That's a good one. What else have I got in here? Chocolate. There's quite sort of a chocolatey colour. Yeah, that's another good one for the bracken. What else have we got? That could be good for the path. Oh, this one could be good for the path. What's this? Brown ochre. That's a better one. Got some nice greens here. What's this green? Olive Earth. That could be good for the hillsides. So looking at the hillsides here. Olive Earth. What else have we got? Green Shadow. Maybe. What's the other one? Crag Green. Oh, this is quite a new one, my Crag Green. As you can see, it's a different colour to the rest of the pencils. Crag Green is a cool colour. And Warm Earth. Let's try those out. Sepia Red. Let's see how red that is. Oh yeah, that's a good one. These Derwent drawing pencils are such good pencils. I love them. They're very smooth. And the colours are just lovely. They're not too overpowering. So that one is Green Shadow. Yeah, that could be quite good. What's this one? The Crag Green. Oh yeah, this is my new edition. Crag Green. Yeah, that could come in handy. And I've got Warm Earth. Yeah, so all those colours are nice sort of earthy colours. And then I'm just going to grab my Neo Colour 2s as I go along. Oxide green, what's that? That's an oxide green. Oh yeah, that's nice. Right, I'm just going to start putting in some details now. Changing the tones, making some marks, and see how I get on. I've got a tree up here. I might do that in Neo Colour 2. Yeah, that could be good. That could be good in Neo Colour 2. Right. Olive brown. That's a nice one. Right, I've got a nice selection of colours there. So I'm just going to go for it. And again, it's looking at the photograph and sort of matching it a little bit, but it's not going to be like for like. I'm looking for, I thought I had like a dark grey. But I don't know where it's gone. That's the trouble when you're moving around with your art stuff. Hello Robson, nice to see you. Thanks for the thumbs up. I'm just having a little route around now because I think I've lost my grey Neo colour too, which is most distressing. Right, less chatting, more doing. Now I've got to remember which ones were which. Ruby Earth, Venetian Red, Ruby Earth. Yeah, let's go with some of that. Ruby Earth. Right, sorry, I'm stalling here. I'm just going to go for it. Let's go up here. So I'm sort of using the side of the Neo Colour 2 and I'm looking at the reference photo just to get an idea of where to put the colour down. It's just getting some texture in now. Oh, brown ochre. You can see we've got some bushes and stuff up here. So I'm just getting some initial tone down and then I'll start adding in some more details. I've got my little swatch card here that I keep sort of referring to. I'm sorry if you can hear me breathing. I'm concentrating and I'm afraid my face is right by the camera. There's lots of sort of bushes here as well, which I'm going to go in. I really want like a dark green, but I don't think I've got that variety with my Neo Colour 2s, because there is like a bush here. And it's so, you can tell when you're used to using an iPad or a tablet, because what I want to do is actually increase the size of that tree. And you automatically, it's amazing how your brain has been trained. So I'm just going to put the tree in, but it's literally just going to be an impression, because I can't really see it, but obviously we know it's there. A big old gnarly tree that's probably been there for years, caught in the wind from the sea. And in the summer there was cows, there was cattle in this field. They were having a right old time under the trees. And there's another one over here, which I wasn't gonna put it in the picture, but I think I will, because it just gives you a bit of interest. Now, if I could just open that to see if there's any. There's one, I think. Breathing is good, Sarah. When I concentrate, though, I tend to hold my breath. But yeah, I'm still breathing. So all I'm doing is gradually building up the colours. It's just giving the impression of sort of undergrowth. Ooh, oh no, that fell on my sky. So that little disaster there, well actually no, it's not a disaster, that's a seagull, of course. There's always loads of seagulls there. I don't know if you can see there's some rocks. So I'm going to put those in. Let's go with a lighter. That's quite a nice brown. See how sort of impressionistic this is? There's no detail as such. It's just sort of a bit of colour. Again, I've not really got the right greens. So this headland is the Southwest Coast Path. Which is the south of Cornwall. And Audrey loves walking down this path. So just adding water. Over the Neo Colour 2. So these down here, this is sort of, it's like a rock face here, so it's quite craggy. And it sort of goes down into the sea. It is a really pretty place to walk, and the seasons, in different seasons, it changes so much. That's still a bit wet there. Right, I'm going to, what can I do with the sea? There's not a lot I can do with the sea, to be perfectly honest with you. I might just put some Neo Colour 2 in. But I don't think I want to fiddle too much with it. I hope you've had fun watching me today. Like I say, this was never going to be a serious painting. It was always just going to be a sketchbook play, a nice place to be on a Wednesday evening here in England. And it must be, what's the time now? So it's 9:20 here. So what's the time there, Cynthia? It must be early afternoon for you. Oh, look. That's the second one I've broken. Now I'm just thinking, the grass, the grass, the grass. Sort of got patchy sort of grass. 1:19 p.m, so lunchtime. Lunchtime, sunshine. Sounds wonderful. Okay, I'm just standing back for a bit, and I think I'm going to leave it at that because I'm going to start fiddling. I don't want to fiddle because it's a sketchbook sketch. Right, I'm going to go in with a fine liner. That's not very fine though. I think that's a number 10. Let me just see if I can find a smaller one. No, that's even bigger. That's a size 12. Oh, that's a 005. That's too small. Oh, just hit the camera then. I want a 1. I think that's a 1. Yes, that's a 1. Because I am going to go in and the skies. How's that? Seagulls. We have seagulls, not a Neo Colour 2 that's fallen down. Now I have got a Neo Colour 2 here that's a lot brighter. Thinking for the grass, but I just know. Oh no, that's quite good. I love seagulls too. They're so cheeky in Cornwall. They have such a hard start in life though. You see the baby girls on sort of rooftops, and it's either absolutely awful weather where they're getting hammered with rain, or it's hot, bright sunshine. So I do feel sorry for the seagulls, but I love the sound when they laugh at you. They make that noise and it sounds like they're laughing at us, which they probably are, to be perfectly honest with you. I think if I was a seagull, I'd laugh at us too. Okay, I'm fiddling now. I think I've come to the end. I hope you've enjoyed this easy, relaxing session of just playing in the sketchbook. You can see how I've sort of built the colours up gradually. They're not like for like. But it sort of looks like the photograph. They've got some textures in there. I've managed to get some trees in there. I think you can see that's a path that sort of draws your eye line into the distance, and clouds and sea and all the bracken. And so it gives you the impression of an autumnal, I think, southwest coast path. So I hope you've enjoyed that session. The desk is absolutely covered in art materials, which is a good sign that I've had fun. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I really enjoy doing these live sessions, and I really hope you enjoy being here. I will post this onto my channel if you want to go back and have a look, and I will leave the link to Wendy Powell Jones, who does some beautiful Christmas card ideas. And also don't forget to check out Helen Cryer, who also does beautiful mixed media landscapes and has taught me so much over the last year. I'd really love it if you could leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm going to continue to do lives, and I do post videos most weeks, if not every other week. And I do write a monthly newsletter on Substack, and you can find me under the Pondering of an Artist or Purple Ladybird Art. So thank you all for joining me. I wish you a happy Thanksgiving in America. Hope you have a wonderfully peaceful day. And thank you to everybody else for joining me this evening. I'll see you again soon. Thank you for watching.